only had some little laughings and some lettered cheeks, and were he not so worried by his bulb of persecution, he could have, aye, and would have, as true as Essex Bridge, millinery servant to Alderley's person by the Toppy Atkins, formerly confounded with a mother. Maybe growing a moustache, did you say, with an adorable look of amusement, and uses no-class billiard halls with an up-and-down ladder? Not Hans the courier, though had he have only had some little laughings and some lettered cheeks, and were he not so worried by his bulb of persecution, he could have, aye, and would have, as true as Essex Bridge, and not go fetch go gossip, I declare, man. No. To all's much relief, one's half-hypothesis of that jabberjaw ape amongst the showering jest-nuts of Bruce nose was hotly dropped, and his room taken up by that odious, and still today insufficiently mal-estimated note-snatcher, hack foy bosh and fighting, journey goss put in, says you, Shem the penman. So, who do you know tonight, ladies and gentlemen? The echo is where in the back of the wood. Call him forth. Sean McIrewick, brief dragger for the concern of Messrs. John Jameson and Song, rated 100 and pin per score 100 on this nightly quiz quack of 12 apostrophes, set by jockey Mick Airwick. He misunderstruck a name for Amalo of number 3 of them, and left his free natural repulse to 4 of them in their own fine artful disorder. 1. What second to none myth-erector and Maximus bridges-maker was the first to rise taller through his bean's tail than the blue gum boa boa babon or the giganteous Wellingtonia sequoia? Went nudie boots with trousers into Olivia when she was barely in her trickles. Was well known to flaw the conciliation cap onto the esker of his boot. Fought the chain gangers Albert Solomonly over his Hollander's epaulette. Thought he weighed a Newton when there fell his first lap apple. Gave the heinousness of choice to every night betwixt yesterday and 2 merry. Had 7 successive coloured serenades on the same big white drawing-room hearthrug. Is a Wilberforce at this hour at house that he was in heaven. Pumped the Catholic war tray and shot the Protestant wine. Killed his own hungry self in anger as a young man. Found father for 5 when all Mark and Rose go flooded. With Irish tutorials, Cornish made easy. Voucher of rotables, pole of the road. Bred many-headed stepsons for 1 litre own porter. Is too funny for a fish and has too many outside for an insect. Like a heptagon crystal imprisoned shrews and phosphor. Is infinite swell in unfitting indum. Once was he shoveled, and once was he arsoned, and once was he an undered, and she hung him out Bill Bailey. Has a quadrant in his tile, to tell told her catastrophe. Offers chances to long on, but stands up the leg before. Found coal at the end of his tarrow and moss roses behind the scenes. Made a fort out of his postern, and wrote F-E-R-T on his buckler. Is the skate master in chief from all sorts of Houdin places. If he out-harrods against barkers, to the sure bread he acts whitely, was evacuated as a mere appearance of 3 germ huns, and twice besieged by a fleet. From zoomorphology to omni-animalism he is broached by the spin of a coin. Powers and Eddystone amid the lamps casting swan beams on the beat. Threatens thunder upon malefactors and sends whispers of frou-frous frou-frou. When Duke hook by crook upsits his ass, Boozeworthy's jeer and junket, but they booze him ooze and bars his ass when he looks like hunket. By sauce and souls and search a party on a lady of the city. Business, reading newspaper, smoking cigar, arranging tumblers on table, eating meals, pleasure, etc., etc., pleasure, eating meals, arranging tumblers on table, smoking cigar, reading newspaper, business. Minerals, wash and brush up, local views, juju toffee, comics and birthday cards. Those were the days, and he was their hero. Pink sunset shower, red clay cloud, sorrow or Sahara oxide or iron. Arraigned and attainted, listed and lighted, pleaded and proved. Catches his check at Bank of England and endorses his doom at chapel exit. Brain of the Franks, hand of the Christian, tongue of the North. Commands to dinner and calls the bluff. Has a block at Morgan's and a hat-ache all the after lunch. Plays Geheimrat when he's earned, but Mrs. Mousy when he's lusty. Walked as far as the head, where he sat in state as the rump. Shows early English trace marks on a marigold window with manigild light. A myrioscope, 2 remarkable Sistines, and 3 well-worth-seeing Ambries. Arches all portcullis, and his knave dates from dot. Is a horologe unstoppable and the bane of all bells. Twit, ist, and herit, and though he's mildew-stained, he's mouldy stone. Is a quercus in the forest, but plain member for megalopolis. Mountain mighty, fawn and feetfoot. Blank in our platform, blank in our sculpture. Hid all in carucates he is enumerated, old as an earl he cut. Ship-shaped praise of bug-looking words, with a form like the easing moments of a graminivorous. To our dooms brought he law, our manwise he made his will of. Was an overgrind to the underground and aqueduct for fiery throat. Sends boys in socks a copper hooping, when he lets heart his carbon oxide, and silk stockings show her shaping, when he looses hose on hers. Stocks dry fooder for the ill people, and Pinkin pellets for all the pale. Gave his Monday foot to Miserius, her pinch to Anna Livia, that superfine pigtail, to Cereza Serosia, and quid rides to Titius Caius and Sempronius. Made the man, who had no notion of shopkeepers, feel he'd rather play the duke than play the gentleman. Shot 2 queens and shook 3 castles when he won his game of dwarf. Fumes inwards like a strombolus till he smokes at both ends. Man mote be fire of him, womankind be attacked. Shows 1 white drift of snow among the dorse growth of his crown, and a chaperone of repentance on that which shed gore. Pause and quiet. Triple Bill went by metro for the polis, and then hove by. To the finders, hail, woe, you the sea, whom filth had plenished, dirt devoured. Hawk is eating, Coco comes next, Emery tries for the flag. And danced the O'Bruin's polar concert Rulan to his own orchestra's accompaniment. Took place before the International Convention of Catholic Midwives, and found stead before the Congress for the study of endonational calamities. Makes a delictuous entree, and finishes off the course between sweets and savouries. Flouts for forecasts, players for fines, and the fun of the fray on the fairground. Cleared out 365 idols to set up 1 colossal for henwives, hoping to have males. The floor hula, the grasping one, the kindler of paschal fire, forbids us our trespasses as we forget him. The phoenix be his pyre, the sinners his sire. Piles big pelium on little altars, like the pillows of Hercules. As an Oedipus complex, and to drink the dregs keep. Worse speaks for chumps and cow Carlos for scullions. When he flies for our favour is very truly ours. 2 psychic espousals and 3 desertions. Maybe matter of fact now, but was futter of mag then. Catamole Hill, ex-mountain of flesh, was reared up by stress and sank on the strand. Hank it up, tells the tailor to his pellet. On 2 calf for a man, but bitter thimble for a maid. Blimp, lump, a dud letter, a sing-a-song of silver. A byword, a sentence with thirsty. While stands his can you see him frail shall fall. Was hatched at Selbridge, but ejaculated a brood, as it began in the beginnings, so wound up in the battle of Boss. Roderick, oh, you've gone the way of the Dane. Variously catalogued, regularly regrouped. A bush boy's holiday, a quacker's mating, a wench's sandbar. The same homo heterous chicken not egg as when Sully I airly blew. Real detonation with false report. Spa mad, but insane. 500,000 by a bogus census, but a no-street houseman when all fans. Is the handiest of all Andys, and the most arrogant, off to dump your hump. Hands his succession to the new patrician, but plums phlegmatically for the bloody old centuries. Eats with doors open and ruts with gates closed. Some dub him Rothschild and more limb him Rockefeller. Shows he's sly to both hemispheres, but tries to cover up his traitor. 7 dovecots who claim to have been pigeon-hined of this former. Marion Roebuck, Collins Ray, Seapoint, K. Hope, Ashtown, Rathini. Independent of the lordship of Chamberlain, acknowledging the rule of Rome, we saw thy farm at useful shrine, Donald Donald. Reeks like Il Bel Paese and looks like Iceland's ear. Lodged at pot places, lived through top rain. Takes a sunbath for his weekend and a water nap for his refreshment. After a good bout at stool ball, enjoys Girofee Girofla, what nevermore missed and Colombo found. Believes in every man his own goalkeeper, and in Africa for the fullback. The arc of his drive was 40 full, and his stumps were full of 80. Boasts him to the thick hills, the oldest creator in Ariania, and looks down on the Swiss family Culletons, whom he calls Les Nouvelles Roches. Though his heart, soul, and spirit turn to fair off times, his love, faith, and hope stick to futurism. Like leglifters sent him Surian from afore, while gore browbenders curse him grommelant to his hindmost. Between you lasses and your lads glimpse of evening, the lug his seat has, the luck his pile, drinks tar and water for his asthma, and eats the unperishable stout to strive off regular rack. The beggars cloak them reclined about his paddy stool, the whores wink at him as they walk their side. On Christian Mass at Advent Lodge, New Zealand, after a lengthy illness, the rover and Mr. Easterling of Pentecostitis, no followers by request, fanfare all private. Gone, where glory waits him, all bulleted. But not here yet, Maxwell, thought. Coming stand articles, but finished the Borgias. From the vat on the beer through the burr and the dark to the battle of the Bourne. Is A1 on the highest, but Rory his root. Tilf and of hackleberries, when it all was tuck and tossed up for him as a youngster to fall foul popping lectures, wherein he had gauged the use of raisins, adds aliments, das dolls, rats, rustics, hams, turmoil. That's seed enough for semination, but still skivvies on the sly. Learned to speak from hand to mouth as he could talk Irish with his eyes shut, hacked his way through hick-hick-hops, but hanged his head from there hereafter. Rialtos, anise leg, bin and balls, to say nothing at all of new coming. The gleam of the glow, the shine of the sun through the dirt of the dirt on the blush of the brick of the vile bill of Varneycombe has dust turned to brown. Those died to tartan him, roo-roo, stout, brack and teasel, full as ash, sundew and cress. Long gone but not forgotten. Stood his sharp assault of famine but proved girther and girth. He has 24 or so cousins germinating in the United States of America, and a namesake with an initial difference in the once kingdom of Poland. His first's a young rose, and his second French Egyptian, and his whole means a slumber Christian. Fourth of his pierced heart came the woman of his dreams, blood thicker than water last prayed overseas. Bishop of Flinty Luke, Jarl of Horde, you and I are in him surrendered by broom blood. Alan Sweep all fell but Wang Chang every time. He one was your of 5 big pipey boys, but fancy him of smoking fags his at time of life. Mount of Nish, Mel of Moy, had 2 cardinal ventures and 3 capital stinks. Had a peep in his pocketbook and a packet boat in his teeth. DVH, DLG, TPM, TDS, TBD, TCH, LON. His breakfast, launder, diener, and super. As the streets were paved with coal, he felt his popularity. Taught himself skating and learned how to fall. Distinctly dirty was rather a dear. Over chieftains everywhere, with model. Ostman Effendi, Serge Paddy Shaw. Basses too many. Outcriam Gall his parasite. First of the Fenians, Roi de Fainéant. His tiara of scones was held unfillable, till one Liam Fail held him in Westminster. Was struck out of his sitting when he rode solely to Damascus, and to our appalling predicament, brought us plagues from Budapest. Put a match head on an aspen stalk, and set the living afire. Spared the rod and spoiled the lightning, married with cakes and repunced with pleasure, till he was buried how happy was he, and he made the welkins ring with up Micawber. God at the top of the staircase, carrion on the mat of straw. The falsehood of a spindler web chokes the cave mouth of his unsightliness, but the nestlings that liven his leaf screen sing him a lover of our beauty. We strike hands over his bloody war sheet, but we are pledged entirely to his green mantle. Our friend, right illegal, our sworn foe. Under the 4 stones by his streams who vanished the wassail bowl of the joy of shells. Mora and Laura had a hill of a high time looking down on his confusion, till Fern look in readiness, forward spear, and the wind foot of a curragh strewed the lake mist of Lego over the last of his field. We darken for you, falterer, in the year of morning, but we'll feel to the dim twinklers when the streamy Morven light calls up the sunbeam. His striped pantaloon, his rather strange walk, hereditatis columna erecta, agion titana eraphon. Nods an app for the nonce, but crows cheerio when they get deep inimical. Is a simultaneous equator of eliminated integrals, when 3 upon 1 is by inspection improper. There's the most conical hodpiece of confusionists are on him, and that chop-choppus chin-chin of his is like a footsie kungaloo around Shantyland. He's as globeful as a gasometer of lithium and luridity, and he was thrice 10 annular years before he wallowed round radiant circles. The cobblestone at the coping of his cabin is a canine constant, but only an American could apparoxomy the apophraseosity of his at-last allungement. Dick right and left that battled down in his hunt for the war truth, but made his end with the moderate that came at him in Cannon's Creek. A Hannibal in exhaustive conflict, an Otto to return. Burning body to Eiger air on melting mountain in wooing wave. We go into him, sleepy children, we come out of him, trucklers for life. He divested to save from the Mrs. Drowning their rival queens, while Grimshaw, Bragshaw, and Renshaw made off with his store and clothes. Taxed and rated, licensed and branded. His three-faced stone head was found on a white horse hill, and the print of his Costello feet is seen in the ghost glass circle. Pull the blind, told the deaf, and called dumb, lame, and hoppy. Miraculone, monstruously, led the applause of the creation, and hissed the snake charmer off his day. Hounded, become haunted. Hunter, become fox. Harrier, Marriott, Harrier, Tal. Olaf, the Ottoman. Park of the Kurov. You feel he is Vespasian, yet you think of him as Aurelius. Wagamore, trader, Tory, socialist, commonizer. Made a summer assault on our shores, and Big Giddy got his hands full. First he shot down Raglan Road, and then he tore up Marlborough Place. Cromlech Height and Cromwell Hill were his far-famed feet rest, when our lurchers lout let free into the Lubar he loved. Marshalled his ward moat, and delimited the main. Netted before nibbling, can scarce turn a scale, but grossed after meals, weighs a town in himself. Van prayed for his conversion. Berla missed that grand old voice, a colossus among cabbages. The Melaran citrone of fruit, larger than life, doughtier than death. Grand Turco, or edge foreman. Laxum bulger leperline, the sparkle of his genial fancy, the depth of his calm sagacity, the clearness of his spotless honour, the flow of his boundless benevolence. Our family furbear, our tribal turnpike. Quarry was he invincible, and Cruel was he Burke. Partitioned Erskine home, united Irishman. He took a cig at his own measure, but she tasted a bit dorky, and as for the salmon, he was coming up in him all life long. Tom, Eilerdick, Heckleberry, and Sawyer the Warden. Silent as the bee and honey, stark as the breath on Hawk, Costello, Tinstella, Mani, Moran. Though you rope and reek, your home ruler is Dan. Figure right, he is hoisted by the scurve of his shaggy neck. Figure left, he is rationed in isobaric patties among the crew. One asks, was he poisoned? One thinks, how much did he leave? Ex-gardener, Riesengebirger, fitted up with anterous existences, would make Rosie O'Grady, Mike's little hose. Fought sheep and scupper the wash, but the oil silk Mac leads their pet, mix his aqua scrutin. The enjoyment he took in K-women, the employment he gave to G-men, sponsor to a squad of piercers, ally to a host of Rawleys, against lightning, explosion, fire, earthquake, flood, whirlwind, burglary, third party, rot, loss of cash, loss of credit, impact of vehicles, can rant as grave as oxtail soup, and chat